Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are down to the grand final, of course, for the IEM Sydney closed qualifiers. I am Manic, this is Mac. We're going to be the people running you through the last little nitty-gritty best of 5 that we have coming up. Mac, what are the chances? Absolute taking on MVP. It's going to be rough.
I was going to say 0 to none, but I'll give him a 2 to 1.
Yeah,
2%.
Yep.
I think MVP, they are just a monster in the scene. And if there is a fairy tale story that could come from Absolute, look, I'd love to see it. I'd love them to put their best foot forward here for us this afternoon, this evening. Yep. I don't know, whatever time it is for you guys. Right now is the time for them to do it. And of course, MVP, they've also got that map advantage going in, so they have everything pointing in their direction.
Yeah, it's a beautiful story for MVP, really. They've gone undefeated through the upper bracket all the way through to the grand final. They have lost nothing but 27 rounds in a possible 6 maps. Okay, this kind of tells you the caliber of team that we have coming up against. Now, granted, they might not have been up against your Absolute, I guess, and your Storm Rider up until the last step, but they have had a relatively cruisy entrance into what will be this grand final. Now, of course, for those of you who might not know what they're playing for, it is a spot at IEM Sydney. So it's not something to be scoffed at. It's not something to play around with. This is serious. And for us, it hits home pretty hard.
An international trip to Australia to play, you know, your favorite damn esport, boys and girls. A Counter-Strike Global Offensive over here in Sydney at Sydney Olympic Park. It couldn't be more fun. You know, it couldn't be a greater opportunity for especially these international teams to, you know, go on a trip of a lifetime and do exactly what they love doing as well.
Yeah, well, we spoke about this with the North American qualifiers, and it's kind of the opportunity because, I mean, there's not many reasons for, you know, CSGO players to come to Australia. This is realistically one. It's the biggest CSGO event in APAC, I would dare say. I think that's fair to say, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, so it's in the wider APAC region, but then you look at Australia as a region, and it's probably the biggest esport event, period. You know, there's nothing that can really kind of cover what IEM does. So it's a massive event for everyone in Australia, and you know, it's a good opportunity for us casters, for the spectators, for the players to interact with international teams, international players. And overall, it's just a fun time. So, I mean, you know, you've got a bit of everything when you come into it, and this is exactly what they're playing for. So, Absolute, who have just gone 2-0 against Storm Riders, now looking to come up against MVP with a 1-0 advantage already. There's not too much of a story that we can sell you. I mean, we can go, yes, the underdogs, yes, we can do this, but you just look at the names on MVP.PK, and the fact that there's only 4 letters in each kind of tells the tale.
The problem that Absolute are going to have is that they don't have to beat MVP once, they have to beat MVP 3 times to take it out. It's a best of 5. MVP only have to win 2 maps to take it this evening, and well, you know, that is a huge advantage as well. Knowing that, that is definitely confidence in your basket. An Absolute, you know, they might have a bit of confidence coming out of the previous match, but they only had to play 1 map, being Mirage, and it was quite close as well. So, you know, there might be some thoughts haunting them, you know, up there, just in the back of their minds as well, and any hesitation can cost them those really important rounds. You know, Lazcrow, Bast, Hakej, and Rita taking on Zephzine, Zeta, Stax, and HSK. But look, Bast, he had a pretty good game there in the first one. And Rita as well, him on the AWP, he was actually showing up, especially towards the end of the game there on the T side. Yeah, you definitely have some comparisons on both sides. Obviously, we can't stress enough that MVP will be the more powerful of the two, but you know, Rita with the AWP, HSK with the AWP, you can kind of put them on match to match. Laz, with his rifling ability, his pure just, you know, fragging ability is then met by Zeta, so it kind of comes into this whole circle of an even matchup, just on a different level. It's kind of, you know, like you can go head to head if we wanted to, but you definitely have this feeling like MVP just has that edge over them at the moment. 100%. Like, they have been and played against some more international talent, obviously going to the Asian minor earlier on. Well, earlier on in this year? No, last year? This year?
Yeah, this year.
This year. Yeah, these months they've been flying by, boys.
Yeah.
But, you know,
very fast.
They've had a lot of big games they've had to play against as well. So coming home to these teams, and look, I'm going to say it, absolute, they did not impress me in that victory just before. I was expecting more from both the teams there. So coming into a grand final, you really need to bring your A game, and there was just so many mistakes made by both of those teams. MVP, you don't see them make mistakes often, and I guess we will see shortly.
Yeah, well, we've got the veto system ready, and of course, being best of 5, it only leaves room for 1 ban each, so it's not going to be easy for Absolute to get past, but I think with a ban each, we're probably going to see like an Overpass nuke, right?
Or maybe, from what we saw before, it looks like Train or Nuke is going to be the ban of Absolute. Not too sure what MVP are going to ban. Probably, maybe a bit of Cash. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, a bit more of a puggier map. Yeah, so we will have a look at the veto right now. There we go. Train being banned by Absolute. MVP being taken down. Well, taking down Cash. So pretty much exactly as you've had it. They don't really want to sit on those puggier kind of maps. Absolute picking up Overpass. Okay, that's a little bit of a spanner considering it's the first pick, right? Because if they lose that, they've only got Inferno to back themselves up on.
Right, and they didn't get to play it earlier, but it looked like that was probably their next map to ban in their map pool. So that's going to be a bit of a rough start. So the order of the maps as well are going to be very crucial for the teams here going on, you know, into this grand final as well. You know, Absolute are going to have to get every bit of momentum they can, and with Overpass and Inferno, not too sure about Overpass, that might be a bit of a gimme. Maybe for MVP, I guess we'll see. MVP might not be too strong on that map. Inferno as well, you know, we know that Absolute have played that in the past, and they get to start on the CT side, so they might actually get an early advantage in that game. But obviously, from what we saw earlier, this Asian CS is very much T-sided, and that can be very dangerous there on Inferno as well, very hard to hold. And you got Dust 2 and Nuke going on into there. I don't know if we're going to be able to see Nuke, but that will be a rough one for Absolute if we delve that deep.
Yeah, Nuke, that has to be where the last step that Absolute can take, right? Because technically, it's the second best map for MVP. So it's nothing that can really lie back on and go, oh yeah, we mess a game up here or there, we can go back to Nuke. No. MVP will take it to you on Nuke. I'm pretty sure they've won something like 90% of their pistol rounds on Nuke, so it's, you know, they're here to play. But in terms of those bans, Mirage being left in last, I think that that's a good thing for Absolute because MVP are very powerful on Mirage. All the Asian teams are very strong on Mirage.
Mirage is going to be the team that's not the map that's not played. That's the one map.
Oh, that's right.
Map.
It is too. It is too. That's right.
Yeah. So we're not actually going to.
Top of the head. You know what? Don't even worry. I don't even know the format. Mac, go ahead. Take it away.
Here we go. You know, level up the game. You know, get on to Overpass. I say. I was so pumped to watch Overpass earlier. I was very disappointed. We got to sit on the beanbags while we were waiting. And I was saying to Manic the whole time, man, if this game isn't played, I'm going to cry. And I almost really did. I was getting very emotional. It is probably my favourite map personally to watch and cast. And boy, those two teams could have probably given us a good performance as well, considering what we saw on Mirage.
Well, the fact that we've seen Absolute just pick Overpass as their first map kind of might set a bit of a tale. I mean, it would have been interesting to see them go up against Storm Riders the first time, but now, you know what, it's gone. We can't keep talking about it. I'm going to keep bringing it up, but that's gone. You know, there was a free forfeit. No matter what. But Overpass and then Inferno, I still feel like it. Yes, there's an argument to say that MVP do have kind of a permaban on Overpass. They tend to lean away from Overpass, so maybe they've picked into it thinking, oh yeah, MVP won't be prepared for this, they won't be ready. But all season long they've banned, all tournament long they've banned Cash. It's a very interesting veto from the point of, if you look at the previous matches that MVP have played, there's been no Overpass played for I think the past 3 months, because when I was doing my little research, I needed to make sure that I didn't go too far back, that we go into the old roster where, you know, we had Solo and those kind of players back, but we've got a little bit of a roster shuffle, so there is a chance. We do have to say there is a chance for Absolute. There's a possibility that, you know, maybe down the line there's not a complete gelled team? I mean, do you think that that's going to be a part to play?
I'm not too sure, especially when it comes to Nuke, you know, being the last map of the series as well. You could see MVP purposely picking that and letting Mirage roll off, knowing that Absolute do have a Mirage under their belt.
Yep.
That was a very tactical pick on their behalf as well. But anyway, we are going to be heading over into Overpass, and my God, I am excited for this grand final, Manic. Oh, it's going to be many, many things going on. You're having a look at the A site here, very crucial point. And you know, the CT slide on Overpass, very crucial as well. You've got those fast rotations up and down between the B and the A sites. So, you know, playing passive can be rewarded, but also that map control over towards bathrooms, con, you know, if you can get short water as well, they're very crucial key points on the map that you do want. So you can go for those aggressive rotates as well, especially on the CT side. As the Ts, you know, you definitely have to work for that map control yourselves, but once you do get towards those sites, you still have to be wary of those retakes.
Yeah, that's right. Map 1 of the grand final, Overpass. This is where we are. This is what we're ready for. Absolute are going to be taking on MVP. It looks like we had a little bit of a minor kerfuffle there. We thought the match was kind of ready to start, but they're still just warming up, still taking frags. And we're ready. Only 15 seconds, Mac. This, of course, being the decider. Who will head to IEM Sydney and who will be crowned the champions of the East Asian region?
Look, I know the answer, but, you know, we'll find out shortly. Anyway, we are finally into the match. MVP.PK starting on that CT side. You've got HSK with a molly and a flash, as well as Zeta with the old smoke and the kit, as well as Absolute. We are going to see two of the gamers down here playing the support role, although a P250 going to be in the hands of Laz, and he doesn't have that armor, so, you know, usually you'd see that handed off, I guess, you know, to get those one-shot headshots up against the unarmored noggins of the CTs. We are going to see Absolute going all across the map. They're very spread out at the moment. Not what we're used to seeing on a T side here on Overpass. Just looking for that map control as MVP.PK as well. They are going to have the boost over towards lower at B, one man at ABC, and then I think HSK might actually be down at Heaven as well. So a big stack down towards B, but ready for the fast rotation as well up to A.
I believe Zeph, no, it's actually Zine on that A site. Might have just been able to spot out Tucker to start with. Now making their way back in. Zine's got the perfect angle there. Sees Laz. Laz sees him, and down goes Zine. The head is a-rolling. The best part about this is the bomb is not up at A. They can sell the fake. And MVP, well, they're already up on A. Completely defenseless on B. Oh, not actually completely defenseless. They will still get the bomb down with little to no resistance coming in from the CT side, but now making their way back through. Rita just taking a handful of tags through the wall. They're going to look to try and isolate Rita if possible. The Molotov is actually being thrown out nice and early. He's going to have to try and hold on to the angle, but they come in numbers, and now it's just a frag fest on top of the site. It's all up to Bas, who manages one. He's got two to find, isolating the 1v1s. He picks up HSK, but no, it was nearly going to happen. Zeta down to 41 HP, no armor. There was a possibility for a monstrous clutch there.
MVP barely coming in clutch at the end, Zeta. He didn't even have that body armor as well, so the Glock very dangerous in that situation. An Absolute, you know, they got that bomb planted, so we might see something similar to the last game. Look at that Hero AK coming out from Laz already. Looks like we're probably going to see the double, maybe a couple. No, okay. Only one AK. So I've actually seen this before when I've casted some Asian Counter-Strike. They'll buy a singular AK and that one man be very low on the economy, but continue that over into the next rounds, knowing that they can continually force up, you know, singular guns and head it out, like send it out first to try and create that space. So MVP.PK, we'll see if they're ready for this aggression and for the AK to be in play at the moment.
I must admit, it is interesting to see that Hero AK come out, and it has become more prominent, especially with the that new meta that they brought in with the second round. You know, getting more money after the pistol is a viable option. Zeph, he now knows that there's an AK. That's a huge problem.
It can be. They can still get it out of the hands of Absolute, but Absolute just holding their ground for the moment, waiting for any more over-aggression coming out from MVP. P250 going to be sprayed as well as the AK, so Absolute giving away at least two of their positions, but we are going to see Raider. He's making his way over towards toilets, just slowly but surely working around the area. Goes down to 16 HP, manages to hit the tap on the HSK. Good trade from Zion. But it is not going to draw a hard rotation. Only one man, being Zeta, who might actually head back down to the B site. Zion has a huge amount of map control with bathrooms down. Out onto the B site they go. Stacks is going to hold strong. 3K in the corner with the UMP. Absolutely massive hold. And it's all up to Crow with 5 HP. He's got the AK and a bit of armor. Managed to get the bomb plant, so best case scenario given the situation. But Zion and Zeta as well are going to save the AK and a FAMAS as they take a second round for MVP.
Yeah, I think that's job achieved for Absolute. Obviously, you're looking for the win at all points, but that is a pretty big round coming through for the T side. Not only does the bomb plant go down, but 3 players are killed. The economy for MVP is almost in tatters there. You know, they've got bits and pieces all over the shop. They've got a FAMAS and a UMP. They can't really afford to throw that FAMAS away just freely. And Zion doesn't want to force up in towards another M4. It is one of those kind of you win but lose situations for Absolute. Cheering because we've dropped their economy. We've got the bomb down. There was only 1 player left, but at the same time, yeah, you still want to be seeing that round go through, regardless of the hero AK, regardless of the no armor on some of those players. There was still a great opportunity there to take that round. Now, as we come into the third, the full buy is in bar. Realistically, just the Galil on Reader, but we'll see if that actually has an impact to play.
Love a bit of glass cannon gameplay here. HSK taking that risk, and up against a Galil and 4 AKs, it's going to be very dangerous. You know, Overpass does favour those aggressive angles with the AWP. Unfortunately for MVP, they are going to take the first blood over towards the B site. Absolute now with this man advantage, but only barely. Bust down to 16 HP. Crow as well below half. Flash comes in. The Crow wasn't blinded at all, but it is going to be Zeph taking the frag, and he is not going to get aggressive. He will just stay back, hang around for the moment. Good angle though, might spot. Oh, he has. He's spotted Takesh falling back, but Takesh himself has not spotted the feet of Zeph there. Just going back, looking to retrieve the bomb. He's only got 20 seconds to get to a bomb site as well. My God, they've left it too little too late. Toilets control in the hands of MVP. There is no way that this bomb makes its site in time, especially now Zion. He's going to be traded out, but you've got Zeta there as well, just putting on the damage. 10 seconds. And Takesh now realizing he cannot make it. He has too much work to do, and he is just going to be happy to save the AK and armor into the 4th round. MVP yet to drop around on the CT side of Overpass. Absolute being their map choice, you would think they'd have something going on, something up their sleeve to try to get into the game. But MVP off to a glorious start.
Yeah, you kind of felt for Absolute that they were feeling comfortable with that long control, kind of thinking that they had the upper hand, but the second that that bomb is in T-spawn at 25 seconds left, it's going to be a rough one because you can no longer play angles, you can no longer walk, you have to start stomping, you have to start alerting everyone as to where you are. And talking about alerting, they're just going to push straight on towards this site. They're going to be able to take a little bit of damage on towards the only member Stacks that was holding from Graffiti, but Zeph doing God's work, realistically, and untouched at that.
Just loving that AUG gameplay at the moment. That bomb down in Monster Tunnel too. That is pretty much all she wrote now. Absolute. I don't think there's a way for them to get back into the round. All eyes on this bomb. You can see Takesh there. I think there's smoke in between him at the moment, so he has managed to make his way back up to the stairs. He might be able to find a frag or two. Laz as well on the big flank, but that's going to be covered by whoever that is at Heaven. I think it's Zion. Look at this. Ready as anything. Up in the corner. This is an off angle if I've ever seen one too. Takesh now looking to take a bit of contact on the bomb. The smoke, it's very deep though. They seem to think that they've found something, but the bomb isn't going to be retrieved in time. Qualifier coming in, and the blood will be drawn through the smoke as well, so MVP should have spotted that one. Bomb's disappeared, and now they have some form of idea of where the final remaining player is. Pre-fire through the smoke. Zeph just working the angle, blind completely. And that's 4 on the board now for MVP, as Absolute still hunting to crack that egg.
I definitely, for MVP in that situation, there is that moment of the smoke going down. And I feel like it's a bait for Absolute to try and come in behind it, right? Because they're like, yeah, smoke's down, you're fine, but we know exactly where the bomb is. We've got 3 members here. We can just spray through the smoke for as long as we need. And, well, it is death for 1,000 cuts there, so it's near impossible to try and make that work. However, it's going to be HSK again opening up. That AWP is going to play a crucial role, not just in this map, but in the best of 5 as a whole. HSK has been, you know, quite a dominant AWPer for MVP since joining the roster, causing some problems as well. And previously, of course, over on Gosu Gaming, a formidable name as it, but now swapped over with the IGL role for MVP, really taking the responsibility and the team with him.
Oh, the angle once again being worked by Zeph though. With that AUG, he has been laying the pavement so far for MVP, just holding onto Monster. An absolute rock there. Although the accidental bait peak, Laz, my God. He has been traded out, but that AWP shot just being completely baited by the barrel of the AK. And now it's a 4v2. MVP, surely no way they lose it here. It's a 2v2 down on the B side, but the rotation starting to come out. 30 seconds remaining on the clock. Zeph in a great position there, hiding down in the water, but it looks like he might actually go down first, waiting for the wrap at Bridge, but he looks away. The timing favouring Absolute. Barstow unawares that there's a man over towards ABC, so it's Tarkez last alive in the 1v3. He gets the bomb planted, which is more than I thought that Absolute would achieve in the situation, but can he hold? 29 bullets in the clip, and the CT's starting to swarm in for the retake.
That nade. Oh my word. 100 HP down to 47. Now only 1 tick away. I mean, there was an opportunity there, right? You know, can play the angle of the pillar, can hold the headshot angle across towards Graffiti, but the second that grenade comes in, he realizes 46 HP is not enough to take these fights, not enough to even take some damage. Bit of a rip if I've ever seen one. Actually, that bomb got mighty close to blowing there, but still untouched and flawless our MVP streak. 5-0, and there's no real signs of cracks. I mean, the pistol round was the only time that we saw maybe an impactful play from Absolute.
Well, the thing is as well, I'm looking here, and there are 3 rounds where Absolute has actually got the first pick in the round. And they still haven't got one. So going from the man disadvantage, you see on the B site there, I think it was Zeph. It was definitely Zeph, and I think it was someone else. I think it might have been Stacks as well, just getting those multi-frags and just doing some bloody work. Although it looks like something's going on in spawn. Laz might have disconnected here. That or he's just, oh, no, that's definitely a bit of a DC.
Goodbye, my lover.
Unfortunate there for Absolute. Surely we will get the old reset in the round. Looks like it's been cancelled. Everyone jumping around for the moment.
Yep.
So we should be taking the tech pause shortly, but Absolute, come on. They are going to be buying here into the 6th. They've got the economy for it. But can they get onto a site? That is what they need to start doing. MVP, their economy, not the greatest for how many rounds they've won in a row. So Absolute have been doing that damage, keeping it, you know, pretty honest, to be honest. You know. As they might be able to buy for another, but it's going to be quite mixed if they bother. But once they lose a round, even though they've got this lead, it's just going to be so rough for them to manage that economy. Absolute might have a way back into the game if that situation arises.
Just have to wait and see. Matchmatic on his way to fix on up. There are ways for Absolute to bring this back. There's no telling, regardless of how strong. Oh no, Zion, don't do it. No.
What?
Is he going to come and shoot him, or just join?
He's helping him out.
I am friends. We are one.
But we are many, and from all
the land
on earth we come.
We share our dreams.
I wonder how many people in chat know that song.
And get a match restarted. I am. You are. We are gamers.
We are gamers.
Yep, that's for sure. 5. And I believe we have Laz back in the server. Nice of you to rejoin, my friend. And I believe we can get straight back underway here. So there's no messing around. We are straight back into the thick of the action. Straight through on towards B. Reader's going to take the first bit of damage, but actually just hides away in the small little cutout. Paves the path for the rest of the teammates. Laz going to be ripping off the head of Zeta there. Nicely done as well. Another smoke to come out to deny any sort of control being given. That's all smokes being thrown out. There's one just going to make his way toward Toxic. This could get a little bit dangerous. The bomb should be planted for the opposite side of Pillar. But with that kill coming through from Zion on Heaven, every moment that they wait with these smokes down is just going to make their job infinitely harder.
The worst part as well is there's two men stuck on the short side there in the canal. Oh, it's going to be so rough, Absolute. They might be able to pincer in together, but that bomb looking to go for the rotation. Absolute just trying to fake that they are rotating themselves out of the B site. Just staying silent, hoping that MVP outthink themselves, second guess, and head back up towards the A site. HSK not making a huge amount of noise on the rotation, though. Good timing on the molly there. We'll buy some time, although the push coming out from Absolute now. Rotation's not too far away, but Stacks, is he going to be able to hold the wraps coming in behind him? He's spotted, but he almost takes one down with him. It's going to be Raider and Laz to crack it open to a 4v1. Zion, though, brings it straight back to a 1v3, looking for more. Is he going to bother? No, I don't think he is. And with the economy there, you see Zeph and Stacks down to about 2,800. This is the play. Zion, he's got 79 in the bank, so there's definitely drop potential, and MVP will be able to buy into the next, but they're happy to concede a single round. They don't need the dream. They don't need the 16-0. They just want to manage that economy and make sure that they have the best chance in the preceding rounds.
Definitely not wanting the 16-0, but maybe the 3-0 is the end point for tonight. They're playing the long game. And Zion, okay, I didn't realize that. I was too busy trying to sort up a storyline. Zion's just sitting on the other side of the wall and takes one with him. So nicely done. Full buy coming back in for MVP. And Absolute will be able to meet fire with fire.
Absolute once again looking to show a bit of presence over towards the B site early on and not bothering to contest that fountain area though. Although it seems to be the smart idea in this round, as HSK was very aggressive with the AWP of his own. That was saved in the previous round. And Absolute, if they put two together, this will be good for them. Even if the rounds do go back and forth in this situation, it will still favour Absolute, as with the new meta, the round loss bonus obviously going to give them more economy. MVP, you can see it starting to dwindle down. The most they have is 1450 on Stacks and Zeph. But now we are going to see the three-man set up over towards B, as Zion's just back on the A site. Looking for information over towards Toilets. The push from Zeta as well is going to find so much. And this might even call for the rotation. Does he go for the flank all the way through con, or will he come through T? Laz is here, ready and waiting with this AWP though. So Absolute happy to just play this T side, hold the default, and punish any over-aggression, but the timing not going to favour Absolute at all. As the push comes in, Laz with the spray transfer, finds the second, not ready for the third. Stacks on the short side of bridge, will eventually trade it out, but he will find a singular of his own. So in the 4v2, flank was coming in. Raider, though, managing to cover just in time, and it's all up to old mate Zion to try to save yet again. Too little, too late. Slow on the rotation. Absolute. They have 4 weapons still alive in the round. Absolute putting on a second round. And on the T side, this is quite early for them to start racking up these numbers. You got MVP already on 5. But you'd expect them in this situation to at least get 10 on their CT side. So they need to start to keep up the momentum, I guess. And Absolute as well. They need to try to retain these rifles to build that economy too. You can't have that happening anymore. Zion is not allowed to be gifted free kills. I know it's pretty important for them to get rid of the AK out of his hands so there's less firepower on the CTs in the next round, but you need to think about your own economy as well.
That's the thing. Like, when Laz is walking in like that to the B-bomb site, they're entry fragger, right? When he's walking in and double fragging like that, it's ridiculous. That flick between what I would say more or less default and pillar there, filthy. Nicely done. But MVP, this is where we can start to see some resilience and where I would really like to see the pace being picked up, changing some sort of tide. The double boost in 2 sections of the map will actually give them a lot of control.
That smoke at the front of toilets, though, denying information for the moment. Well, who's that? I think it's Crow. Very close to the bathrooms. Not actually going to be spotted as he lurks his way in. And he can potentially get around the corner as well, but Bass finding 2 CTs down here. Focused on the first. And Zion is going to perfectly sell the bait and switch there. Connecting on the noggin of Bass. And that is now the man advantage. Second rifle retrieved as well as the bomb starting to make its way down long to the A site. But there are still 2 CTs here at bathrooms that might be about to be spotted. Crow, perfect angle, but he moves at just the wrong moment. No one making any sound of those. Oh. There's the angle, the 1D coming in from Zeta, finding another onto Takej as well, holding like a champion, and now it's down to the 2v4. Zep's quite low, but this could be the upset round. Essentially, just a couple of pistols brought up to aid that AK. Laz, though, has something to say about it, finding the 2K. Nice headshot on design there. As now, Zeph is making his way down long. But the post-plant situation for Absolute looking good, putting both of their eggs in the same position. But will they be cracked? Stacks now, making his way to site. Decent noise being made. There is no kit in play, nor any utility. They have to try to find the T's. There you go, Stacks with the flick. Finds the second as well. Stacks, you absolute machine. The Deagle's doing so much damage. MVP, they can't win the round, but they've taken Absolute completely down with them.
That is some very interesting plays across the board there. Multiple 2Ks. Laz coming in. You thought he'd done enough, but a play from Zion, I believe it was. That was it Zion? No, Stacks.
Stacks at the end, yeah.
That filthy Deeg. Absolutely dirty Deegs done for free. Would have been nice to have taken a round with them, but that's okay. Maybe enough to do some damage to the mentality of MVP. Flash will come down now as we reset. Bathrooms control. Crow looking to contest. Zion will be spotted. The grenade is perfect. Drops him down to 45 HP, but in turn looks for a bit of disrespect through the smoke onto Bass. Not just yet. Mallow's back out and no real team in the deficit just yet.
Absolute looking to push on the extremities now. You've got Raider and Takej down towards Monster. Just pre-scoped, waiting for any information. Very close to the wall, though. Expecting Zeph to be there. Look, he's played there a fair few rounds in a row now, so that's understandable. Raider finally adapting, taking his notes effectively. And this is going to be a man advantage, but there's only 12 HP on 2 of those players there on Absolute. 10 on Raider, 2 on Vast, knowing that there's a man stuck on the short side as well. He is going to make his way back to safety, just barely, that being HSK. So the AWP still will survive to live another day, to see another sunrise. But Absolute are on the rotation looking to hit this B side, and they will have a 4v2, potentially a 5v2 situation. But look at this positioning from Zeta. Ready for the short push. Is he going to be able to connect though? No, he falls back just at the wrong moment. Util coming in, Absolute ready to take the site.
With the bomb down, there's no real resistance coming through from MVP, not just yet. Boost up on top of boxes. Crow's going to be spotted out. Thought that was going to be the play for a second, but smoke doesn't hide him enough. The flash is now to come on through toward Monster, and the trade from HSK is quick. He's going to have to do one better, though. Laz has been vitally important to these pushes. HSK now looking to isolate, finds the first. Swaps out onto the AUG. He's looking for the 3K at this point. Takej making his way back around the corner. HSK had the opportunity to shut it down, but no, the flick is too strong. And Absolute, well, they're showing their worth, Mac.
That raw aim just coming out at the best possible time. He was looking completely the wrong direction and hit him with the flick straight on the noggin. And we are going to see MVP back on pistols. So Absolute. They put 4 on the board, and now they're looking like a force to be reckoned with. Their economy is still pretty much in the bin, so 1 lost round will hit them with the hard reset, and 4 rounds in a row for them now as well. So they'd have no round loss bonus worked up. MVP, on the other hand, the opposite situation. As now the aggression comes out towards Fountain early on with just a flash, looking for the second, can't quite hold it. It's going to be Laz doing all the damage. 3-4, give him more. HSK. He's going to be last alive, the man that threw that flash earlier on, waiting for some aggression in con. But he might just be able to find maybe a rifle here. Laz on only 21 HP. As HSK now slowly just pushing for anything, looking for some form of exits. He doesn't have much to save. The CZ, look, he's going to be able to buy into the next, and there's no armor to save. So best case, he just tries to not give any extra economy to Absolute. But they are not going to dare go near that ladder. But it seems that HSK, he's going to go up to them.
Now this... Oh, wow, there we go. Okay, HSK nearly lines them both up, but Laz will eventually get the ace. My concern lies with Laz, 13-4. That's the last player, realistically, on Absolute that you want to see starting to pop off. If he starts to turn up the heat on Overpass, there's no telling what will happen. He's an absolute beast and is arguably, you know, the clutch player for Absolute, the strong fragger for Absolute. And there's heaps of concerns that come around a player like that performing like this straight onto the B-bomb site. My word, no waiting about it. The Molotovs and nades are being thrown, but too little too late again. Stacks! He comes through with 2. Zeph's going to be able to chime in. And all of a sudden, a 2 versus 4. That might have just cracked the egg, Mac. And MVP, they look to be back in the driver's seat.
You've got Laz last alive, and this man is dangerous. He's making a huge amount of noise towards short, though. Hasn't seemed to have been heard, as the CT is still focusing over towards Monster. Jumping around, just can't manage to work that angle. Laz, he's got himself the AWP now as well. And as you said, he's got that confidence, he's got that momentum, but that bomb is something that he does not have. It's in the middle of nowhere there, over on the B site, right in the open. And Zine now may be about to find some information. Prescope coming in, but that's going to be the free kill for Laz. He's got 50 seconds remaining, definitely a winnable round, but a very low percentage chance that he does convert. MVP rotating, I was going to say accordingly, but they have split up for the most part, looking just to keep eyes on the bomb from Monster. Potential to play for the retake. Laz, he's still got a smoke and a molly, as well as a flash, so there is an opportunity here. Stacks, though, great position to hold heaven, as well as lowers. Good for the information, and the other 2 looking just to clutch it out, covering the other entry routes. But it seems like with 10 seconds remaining, surely he just saves this AWP. It seems to be what he's doing. Slowly backing away, not today. Disco lay day. Anyway, this will be the lead back in the hands of MVP. A 6th round guaranteed on the board. And Laz, still decent economy. You know, 2,300 carried over into the next as well. So no real, you know, problem with him saving that AWP there as well. But MVP now, is this the start to that momentum we were talking about that they needed? They need more of these CT rounds, 100%. But Absolute, with the AWP, can they make something out of nothing?
Well, that's the question. Are they Houdini? Are they going to give us the old wham bam?
Maybe.
Look, there's a great opportunity. It's that open-ended question, right? Are they? Can they? Will they? MVP are definitely the team that, you know, can pull the wool over the eyes before you know it. So Absolute will need to keep firmly their strong position at this point. The fact that they've brought 5 rounds straight back into the hands of the T side is impressive enough, but they're going to have to go one better. Realistically, don't want to allow MVP any room to move when they swap sides. It's now just opening up across toward long bathroom. So much information being gained at this point by Absolute. The flash comes over the top and the peak was there. Now that can possibly be a bit of an audio cue for the 2 men toward long. Laz is there with that bomb on tuck. Comes in from Zine and both crab walking, my word. HSK finds the refrag. Great Great opportunity to get this bomb towards side, but HSK down to 1 HP, but still alive, still kicking. And that might be the A side open for business.
Well, maybe, but he's still got that AWP in hand, expecting the push coming in. Although fully blinded, there's going to be Crow with Crosshair nowhere near his opponent. The inaccuracy favourite in RNGesus coming in strong. Raider as well on the glass cannon, taking a lot of damage to get that frag stacks with the AWP, looking for another, but he goes on his own, and he's not going to be traded out. Crow up on the truck. He's got it into 2v1, Zeph down to 24 HP, but they know exactly where he is. It's going to be Tarkez, the old bait and switch, working wonders there for Absolute as they put a 6th on the board and keep it close here on Overpass.
It's very tight-knit for both teams. It's that pivot point in the matchup. And they've done so well to get it here, Absolute. If they can bring this home for a 9-6 half, that CT side won't look so daunting. The only query for me at this point is how to Absolute play on CT side. How they go up against a giant like MVP. Just coming on through towards Crow, but... Oh, HSK, what a shot. Takes down Crow from range.
Look what he's doing as well. After taking that shot, they're like, oh, wow, that AWP's down on the B site, but he's heading straight back up to A, repositioning, hoping that Absolute rotate back into his crosshairs again, but they've managed to find stacks as well. So it's back to the 4v4, 2-2 setup. I'm pretty sure HSK is all the way back up at truck. There you go. Yes, he is. Is now. Raider and Tarkej look to work towards short here, but there might be a crossfire. 2 sets of eyes straight on this position. HSK aggressive with the AWP out in the open, not going to be punished as Laz was solo. And that bomb in still a rough position. The Lurker won't be able to retrieve it. He's been taken down, but it's going to be Zeph and Zeta just demolishing Absolute there on short. Running straight into the crossfire, as we mentioned earlier. MVP looking very good there in the 13th round. 2 left for the half. Absolute will not be able to buy here in the 14th unless they go for some ridiculous force, but I don't think that's what we're going to see. They will just save. They will invest into the final round and look to find a 7th unless some form of crazy old upset happens here in the 14th.
Where's no, it's possible. Oh, see you later. An airstrike, drops Bass, drops Laz down to 1. I mean, it's a pistol round. There's nothing really to get that excited about, but the fact of the matter is it's a nice call from MVP. It's the first time we've actually seen him do it. Laz going to be hunting with a bit of a Glock there, but Zion looking to clean on up with the USP. Can't get it done. The MP9 was not enough, but with Zeta there on the org, it should be Tark. There we go. Done and dusted. This doesn't look like too bad of a half, if I'm being completely honest.
It's relatively good, but Absolute as well. Definitely turning up more so than I expected them to. So definitely making me eat my own words. I thought this was going to be relatively easy, but Absolute, you know, looking at this scoreline, they might have been right to take Overpass in the previous match anyway. But we will not dabble in what has not been, what has not happened, and what we will never see. Here in the final round of the half, Absolute will be brought up again. Raider once again going for that glass cannon. He's managed to make it work some rounds, but it's just so dangerous. Look at the great utility that MVP are using. Laz has to go back through the molly as well. The bloody combo there going to be too strong, all the way down to 31 HP. So the carry so far, the most frags on Absolute is going to be down to 31 HP very early on in the final round of the half.
Look at Bass just already through toward Pillar. Took the fight on the Zion, but won't really peak. I mean, the Galil, yes, it's not the greatest, you know, weapon at range, but it can still do the job. Just needs to wait for his teammates to either gain possession of A or start to rotate into Ward B. It looks like that's going to be the call. See Rita now. AWP in hand. Bomb on his back with a flash on the belt. They have barely any utility left. Laz on the other side of the site, on the other side of the map, with the only smoke that remains. It's all going to have to be dry peaks from here on in. Zeph is going to hold the tight little line from headshot, but this is the problem. Absolute. There's 30 seconds left, and they're just starting to kind of fall like flies a little bit as they go one by one. They're going to have to try and take it by force. They do still have to worry about that player in towards headshot. Nice shot coming in from Rita, and the second onto Zeph. That just denies them complete control, but he will be taken down by Stax in the end. And Stax gets it done with 2. HSK is still holding on, but it doesn't make a difference. It's going to be a 9-6 kind of half. You thought that the Orc might have just done enough, but not enough. Not even nearly.
Not quite. They had the right idea. So Absolute, what they've been doing all night on their T-sides, they start to aggress, they get a little bit of control, and then they just hold. They just get told, don't move forward, wait for the CTs to try to clear us out and make a mistake, then we'll kill them. And it almost really, really worked there, but unfortunately it was just the retake coming in. Who was it? I think it was Raider, who was there with the AWP, hit those 2 marvelous shots, but then was unawares that there was a second man in water, and he could not get the job done. And then the damage went back the other way. So from a man disadvantage, it was MVP there on the retake, just keeping the majority of the rounds there. 9-6, but still yet to crack the double digits. Let's see how they go on the T side, though. I think, you know, Absolute have something stored up their sleeves for us, even though I seemed to have written them off earlier on in the night. I think that was just because I remember MVP being an absolute force.
I feel like everyone would have written Absolute off.
Okay.
I don't think that many would come into this saying that Absolute had a you know, even a 50% shot, not even a 30% shot, because it's MVP. But again, this is their map pick, and you would expect them to be able to at least hold their own.
Anyway, into the second we go. MVP on the pistols as well as Absolute. 2 men playing the support role as well. 2 smokes, 2 Molotovs there on HSK and Stax, and for Absolute as well. He will be picking up that kit. But now look at this, Absolute just playing the hard retake at B. 1 man up at heaven, it seems, and everyone else expecting to push into the A site. So I'm not sure if this is a you know, gamble strategy or if they've done their homework expecting MVP to end up back on that A site. But Absolute at the moment are just not budging a single muscle. Ooh, Heaven Smoke coming in. MVP now looking to make their way onto the B site, it seems. But will Absolute make the rotation in time? Too little too late. MVP should get this bomb planted. The post plants as well. You know, they're going to be set straight up. You can see there, Zion ready for a huge flank, but Absolute all going to filter through one direction.
This is really dangerous. Zion is too far away. Zeta as well now. If they can isolate these players and really start to take these individual battles, it might work. But now coming back together, it's just going to be a dogfight. 5v5. Tuck finds the first. Bast to trade back in. And they're just absolutely deleting them off the B-bomb site. Zion couldn't get anything done. Zeta's going to be able to tap through the smoke. Oh, that might just be it. Do they have a kit? Can he stay alive? Zeta, has he just been able to do it? Nor if he'd been able to swap out to the USP, he might have made it close, but it's not going to happen. However, it still gave Absolute a little moment to be scared. It does even back out, though.
That was a nail-biter. I didn't back that strategy by Absolute by any means, but they've managed to make it work. The defuser was killed. The defuse kit was retrieved, but Raider, my God, he looked a little worried trying to get back on the bomb for the second time. What a great hold from short, though. But unfortunately, it did not convert into a round. Good damage done in the end. But MVP, they've got the bomb plant, and now they've gone for the 4-man boost. Looking for an entry, trying to utilize this scout, but unfortunately they got up there a little bit too late, and no one's playing from heaven. So the dice has been rolled, and it has not gone on the 6, although there is a rotation slowly but surely coming in. Zeta trying to make a bit of noise, potentially to bait that push, and HSK is going to connect.
That surely would have been the boost up on top of default. That's ridiculous. A nice free kill coming through from MVP. And nice and fast as well. Like, in a relative term, that's a 4-5-man boost, technically. With the 5th needed to kind of make that little ramp. Now as we can settle back down for a moment. They've gone with the Hero AK as well. They're going to swing wide. That's the kill coming in from Zeph. Players can only get a few little shots in, but Zeph just realigning the crosshair, nearly finding the head of the 3rd as well, still tapping away, but now the AK being down, this could be a huge problem because it's going to be the Augs from range. They're slowly taking them down. A 1v2 for Crow. 35 seconds left, up close and personal. The M4 should possibly prevail in this situation, and the Deagle not going to do enough. Now it's completely 1v1 stacks. One of the newest members has to try and pull it out, and Crow is not going to allow it, but that is a little bit too close for comfort.
So many mistakes made there by Absolute on the bloody hold on the site. But fortunately, Crow was making no mistakes there in the 1v3, getting those trades, connecting those shots, and putting in an 8th round on the board for Absolute. So MVP, their money, you know, relatively okay. Unfortunately, they didn't get that bomb planted, so there won't be a buy here in the third for the half, but looks like HSK has gone for that scout again. So similar to what we saw Absolute do in that first half, they are going to go with a hero buy on one of the men. And once again, I believe we're probably going to see this 4-man stack and see if they just, you know, play the patience game and try to punish Absolute for looking for too much on the B side.
It's very interesting the way that Absolute have started off this CT side, though.
Yeah.
Not very often do you see the heavy stacks like that so early. But Absolute are happy to do it. And you know what? All kudos to them. They're still taking the rounds, regardless of how close they are from MVP. Of to separate the initial members coming out, but so far a bit of radio silence across the board. They will get a bit of information across toward B if they wish. I believe that's Laz pushing in towards short water. That could be huge information.
But there you go. The aggression punished. Raider at least found a bit of information. That is going to draw the rotation from the B players who are now heading up to the A site looking to go for that gamble stack. But Bass as well with the MP9 in con, looking like he's going to start to get aggressive, pushing all the way through, and might actually end up flanking MVP. You've got Laz solo at B, but he's not going to see any action at the moment as a Crow with the M4 makes his way up into the corner. Can he catch them off guard? HSK not going to clear the angle. There's one, and he gets... No, he can't find the second. 3 of the Ts, all completely blinded, but the trade came in. Zion with the Galil, an absolute sharpie there, connecting on the head, but that flank we were talking about coming in just in time to bring it to a 3v2. Laz is very far away, and the bomb is yet to be planted.
Laz has taken the long approach here. He's gone the full mile to rotate on towards that A site. Questionable at the best of times, but still, with the MP7 in hand, we can't write him off just... Yes, we can. Zion. Oh well. For a second.
Well, look, I understand. They didn't have the information that all of the remaining Ts were there. There were 2 uncalled for, unspotted. So that is why Laz went and did what he did. He also had the MP7, so obviously not the greatest weapon getting caught in those medium-range battles. But we are going to see MVP finally picking up a round in the second half, cracking the double digits first and maintaining a 2-round lead. As Absolute, you can see that economy not managed the best. Those rounds coming down to the 1v1s has definitely taken its toll. Now you see MVP setting up again to go towards that B site early on, or at least cause some chaos, hold those rotations. Just waiting, expecting some more aggression, which did come out from Absolute in the previous round, so definitely setting up for a punish. 4 men staying very close together, knowing that the pistols will be in the hands of Absolute. And you definitely want to be in tradable positions with your teammates as best you can on these rounds. Not wanting to throw again. Both teams showing signs of being extremely skilled with those pistols as well. Very sharp gamers in the server, and these pistol rounds can go either way in situations like this.
So Absolute are actually going to head on up toward the A site, unfortunately for them, and unfortunately for us. We're going to have to see that kind of retake we saw in the first pistol round. MVP with 30 seconds left on the board. It does surprise me with how high up Rita is, in fact, that they have stacked on A and not B. Doesn't make a difference. They will make their way down on toward that B bomb site. So they're just going to have to try and hold from on site. Actually, it's the bomb plant that's going to come through first, but HSK plays his Guardian as pretty much Guardian of the Galaxy on that B bomb site. Not in any way, shape or form happy for him to go. And I like this call from Absolute. They've got full armor, they've got full pistols. The chances of an actual retake there, very minimal.
And even if they get the round, their economy will be completely screwed too. So best thing they're doing here is pretty much just letting that economy start to rise, keeping the armor, keeping those weapons, and giving themselves a chance for another gamble going into the 20th round. MVP as well, though. That's going to be so good for their economy. No one falling at the end of the round. So look at that. Half of a util left on stacks there too, so he's not even going to have to really reinvest. Only maybe a flash or a nade, depending on what they prioritize. But now here in the 20th, Absolute, are they going to go and grab some util, or are they happy just to keep above that 2K? Looks like Crow, he's gone and bought a flash. We might see something a bit more aggressive from Absolute here as we head into the 20th.
As though they are going to be stacking 3 down in towards Con. Fizz. Stacks waiting on the other side of Con. 3 on the far side of Long, so you know, this is for MVP, one of those rounds where they can't afford any sort of hiccups. Look at the utility being thrown across toward, I believe that was the boost spot where sandbags are on B. Just the nades to try and find the kill. Stacks, he'll line up too. Free kill and backs away. A flawless fight to be taken. Seth, in the meantime, not going to be able to find anything just yet.
Ooh, 2v5 now. Rough situation for Absolute. Just Crow and Tarkej last 2 alive here. Committing to the B site. Committing to the hold. But Tarkej, is he going to hold? Is he going to face or is he going to hide? That's the question. Over towards Toxic. Looks like he does have eyes on short. No one really watching Monster in this instance. And MVP are slowly but surely making their way out here. There you go. There's the peak, but the information not going to be communicated in time. It's going to be Zine to finish off Absolute. That is going to be an 11th on the board for MVP. 3-round lead. And the economy starting to completely bundle up there. Look at that. Everyone looking real jacked. Should be able to buy into the next. And then one after that as well, depending on how the next couple of rounds go. Absolute, though. On the full buy. You got Raider going for the glass cannon. He's made it work a couple of times, but I don't think it's the best decision, all right? He's playing early close bathrooms, waiting for some aggression towards Fountain. But MVP, they're not even heading that direction. They're maybe sending someone over into Playground to punish that long push. But this round, not a thing. They're just staying back in spawn, essentially.
And this is something that MVP has, I wouldn't say have done multiple times, but look at this boost coming over the top, actually. Laz is going to be able to spot out anything in towards the deep side of T-spawn. He'll be able to spot the bomb. That's huge. Oh, but he hasn't found the kill! No! That doesn't happen! It's all fallen apart for Absolute. That could have gone the other way. And instead now, they're left to pick up the pieces on that B-bomb site. Rita will only be able to find one, but with no HP. Oh, no, no! Not like that! Oh, no armor. You burn in that Molotov and you are dead, my friend. Only Bas left. The far side flank, but too little, my friend. MVP, they're just having the time of their life right now.
Well, that was more of a misplay. If that bomb went down, that could have been absolutely huge for Absolute. But unfortunately, the Whiff City came calling. You know, the law, the hard book of the law came down. And that law stated, if you do not control your spray, if you do not put your crosshair on the enemy, they shall not die. And unfortunately, that's what happened to Absolute in that situation. MVP now with a 5-round lead, as they've got some money for days. Look at that, 5 digits in a couple of the banks there in those coffers. Raider trying to take close contact with the USP. And he will get some damage done, but the firepower not quite enough. It's going to be Zeph to mop up the 2 CTs, trying to hold aggressive at Bathroom. But then you got Bas as well with the CZ in Con, waiting for any form of rotation, looking to play the close range angles, which is smart, I guess, but unfortunately with the 2-man disadvantage, we are going to see MVP start to head to the B side and look just to trade it out and take the easy round W. Look, Absolute, they need to pick up the pace. Manic. If they lose this, there's one more map, one more opportunity before the game's over, essentially. And this is Absolute's map pick too, so What? I don't even know. What do they need to do?
Well, this is pretty much the start and the finish. Oh, I was going to say, hang on a second. Surely they have not hard cleared that. That is, yeah, a little bit unlucky. I feel like it's just coming down to Absolute not really having a firm CT side. Honestly, they got, I don't want to say lucky on that pistol round, but they got lucky on the pistol round. There's no other real way to put it. And then the follow-up, they only had one remaining.
And look, we have no stats saying if they are good on the CT or the T side of Overpass because we, haven't seen them play it before.
Nada.
0 stats recorded with the current lineup. So, it's up to anyone.
Oh, here we go. Cop that, mate. You
Let's
know what?
Go. Let's go,
Cop
boys.
that. This is just a bit of sweet revenge coming through from MVP. That's if they finally make the jump. But there's no one there. There's no one there to be. Oh, yes. Yeah, that's what I'm after, boy.
Loving it.
Get it up. Get it in ya. You're going to love it. MVP now just going to hit straight onto B off the back of that. An easy little smoke for default site. It'll completely isolate everyone. There's only one member that's actually hard holding. And he looks to rotate toward Pillar. Doesn't really want to be stuck in the corner, but there's going to be two in towards water. This might be it, Mac. This might be the play. But no, Zine finds the first. They didn't realise that Laz was already out. A quick trade to come back through. And, I mean, some really nice trades, actually, all things considered.
Yeah, huge job there from Bas to bring it back to what it was. But Raider, he's going to be smoked off. And if he doesn't go through the smoke, the bomb is definitely going to go down. But this is going to be spotted. They've been tricked by this little play before. And there you go. Zeph spotting him, making his way through the smoke. That AWP going to be saved as well by HSK. And that is going to be 15 rounds on the board for MVP. Absolute are on their last-ditch effort here. Last legs here on the CT side. 24 rounds into the game. Is it going to be the last? Look, I think it might be. I just think it might be right now. There's no real utility on Absolute. The firepower is dwindling with a FAMAS and 2 SMGs in play. No AWP there for Raider either. And a 7-round lead for MVP signals that they have had a miraculous T-side here on Overpass.
And just continuing the form there, Mac. It's boost after boost, angle after angle, entry after entry. MVP flexing on their T-side. And there's next to nothing that Absolute can do about it. Unfortunately, it's just the way of the land. MVP, I would say, are one of the only teams in the region that really play with this kind of structure, that really play with this much patience. We saw Absolute in the previous, a little bit more patient on their T side, but MVP aren't just patient. They're methodical. They're very careful about the way they go about things. They're practical. They don't just go full blazing in. They wait for the entry and then bang off the back of that. It's as simple as you like.
They're just more structured. They've been, I guess, a better team for a while now. And obviously, once you perform better, you get a bit of extra backing there as well. So you do have that extra time to iron out your flaws. And it seems like that is definitely shining through for MVP today. We're once again starting to head to the B site in the 5v3. The two of the men, they have been tagged up. Zeph on only single digits, but up at Heaven, can he get some work done? Tarkesh gets one. Laz as well finding a singular, and that's a 3v3. So just like that, Absolute back in the round. But Laz here on the fast flank with the AWP. Can he find another? They are aware that Short is in control of Absolute. Bomb has gone down. Good cover from the T's to allow it. Although Tarkesh, he's fallen. AWP shot going to be missed by Laz, but he knows someone's on the short side here. Managed to get his AWP out in time. Stacks, on the other hand, can't get the AK. HSK and Zine finding a singular each right at the end. And that is going to be the first map going to MVP here on Overpass. So that is going to be 2 maps in the bag for them already as we head into the third.
Yep, the 1-0 default already coming through to the grand final. It's all comfort for MVP at this point. A nice match, all things considered, for MVP rather. I feel like Absolute they got running to start with, and then they were stuck in mud, right? It literally, the second half, it looked like someone had just thrown a stick in mud and it was stuck. There was nothing that they could really do, They weren't moving anywhere. Everything they tried to do, you still have a good giggle about that one, just someone throwing a stick in mud.
You just defined a stick in mud for everyone. It was beautiful.
I know, but sometimes you're going to really lay it out there, you really explain.
Really stick it in the mud.
That's it. You do actually have to do that. But unfortunately for Absolute, that that was their real opportunity, right?
Yeah, 100%. That was the opportunity to get that ball rolling, and that was their map pick as well. And, you know, going into Inferno, I just don't know if they have what it takes. MVP just looking like the better team, obviously, today. There were so many points, when, especially on the CT side. They had a man disadvantage, just brought it back time and time again. And on the T side, just so clinical, so structured. The boost as well, you could see that map knowledge just shining through. And they made it work in the end. A very convincing scoreline, especially as it was the first one of the day. You know, you had Absolute. They had a couple of games earlier, so they should have been warmed up. MVP, they pretty much just had the DMs to warm up. And, you know, that first half as well. And after that, you know, this boost managing to work twice at cracking open the B site was very good to see when it definitely, you know, pays off.
Well, that's kind of the call of HSK as well, who's come in for not a, like the Fallen kind of role, right? The AWPA and the IGL. You don't see it that often because both roles are so specific and so very unique that it is hard to try and pull off both at the same time. It does cause a lot of stress because not only are you trying to open up the round sometimes and hold lines, but you're also trying to organise the calling. However, Mac Daddy, are you happy with that for Absolute? That's the real question.
Well, considering we didn't get to see Overpass, I was still happy in general. For Absolute, you know, there was a lot of mistakes made, especially that aggression on the CT side. Sometimes it was uncalled for. I know that they had to try to find something to get back into the game, but that aggression that was punished time and time again, you know, you've got to think to yourself, is it worth it? You know, we're good at being patient on the T side. Why can't we just emulate that on the CT side as well?
Yeah, there's questions to be asked, I feel, for poor Absolute. They're going to have to try and bring it back for map number 3. Technically map number 2, but we are going to have to wait and see on the other side of this short break.